I'm Ukulele Saz, welcome to another video. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel where you'll get updated each week whenever I release a new video. If you really like my stuff, you can check me out on my website ukulelesaz.com, you can check me out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and you can even become a member of Buy Me a Coffee where you'll get all of my lesson materials for £5 a month, or you can simply buy the ebook that goes along with this video series, Weak Fingers No More, and you can check that out on my Buy Me a Coffee shop. This is part 2. Up until now we were looking at some close fret exercises, we were looking at our positioning, we were making sure that our hand was nice and relaxed, ukulele at a 45-degree angle, thumb was in the back, and our fingers were in a vertical position. So hopefully by now you've built up a little bit of strength and dexterity playing around with your close fret exercises. Today we're branching out just a little bit further and we're looking at what I like to call wide fret exercises. Now this is when things get a little bit more difficult. I wouldn't say difficult, maybe just slightly more challenging, and it also is where people will start to develop their own natural style and way to play. But again, there are general guidelines and things that will help you play with much better technique and help prevent you from stumbling all over the fretboard, which I see too often. And as I said in the last video, we really want to utilise the use of all 4 fingers instead of building bad habits and only using 2. Now 2 words come to mind when it comes to wide fret exercises, and one of those words is flexibility, and what I mean by that is being able to adapt to different positions and being able to adapt to different ways to play, because it's not all just going to be closely confined to a few frets. You're going to have to get used to moving around. And secondly, and this is a very important word, it's consistency. Because when people learn riffs and they stumble about, what I find is they play it a different way every single time. So when we do these exercises today, we're going to work on consistency, playing it the same way every single time. And that's where your awareness is going to be really important as well of what you're actually doing on the ukulele. Okay, our first exercise is 1, 3, 5 and 7. So what we're going to do, just for a laugh, is put your thumb in the back, kind of in between 1, 3, 5 and 7, and see if you can put your fingers on each of those frets. Now, I have particularly large hands, as I am told far too often, so much so, yes, I do have a complex about it. But I can stretch, but I know most people can't. But even for big-handed people like myself, this isn't exactly comfortable. So you could play 1, 3, 5, 7, 7, 5, 3, 1. But that might be really hard. We are going to try it, because there is one thing that I would like to point out that's quite important, but we are going to look at other ways to play this as well. So, what's important here is our thumb, because when we play with a wide fret, we have to remember that our thumb helps us to pinch, and it also moves up and down the fretboard with us. But in particular, when we are moving our fingers, our thumb actually acts as a lever, a pivot. A pivot's probably the right word, because our thumb moves and helps us to reach. So this is why it's really important that your thumb is here and your thumb is not here, because when your thumb is here, straight away it's hard to get into that vertical position, and it's also really hard to hold down notes because you're then having to put pressure and strain on your wrist and through your hand, and that's not very good for anybody. Whereas when your thumb's in the back, the pressure's all been focused here. So let's try this daft exercise, focusing on the thumb to help you move. So we're going to play 1, 3, 5, 7 with a different finger each. So fret 1 on the pointy, 3 on the middle, fret 5 on the ring finger, 7 on the pinky. Let's try that really slowly. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 3, 5, 7, 7, 5, 3, 1. Quite tricky, isn't it? Now, realistically, we are not going to play like that because that is quite difficult. So instead, what we want to do is we still want to utilise our different fingers, but this is where we get to start to develop our own way of doing it. I'm going to show you 2 ways, and then I'm going to choose one, and I'm going to build consistency with it. So the first way, watch carefully. I'll play it first and then explain. 1, 3, 5, 7, 7, 5, 3, 1. Now what I did there, this is the first way. 1, 3, 5, 7, 7, 5, 3, 1. Again. Now what I did is I shifted. So I done 1, 3, as if I was playing finger a fret. 1, 3, and then I shifted everything up. 5, 7. So 1, 3, 5, 7. 1, 3, 5, 7. So that was the first way. Now the second way is going to be slightly different. Watch if you can see what I'm doing differently this time. Let me do that again. See if you can watch. Did you notice that I used the same finger from 1 to 3, and then I used my ring finger for 5 and my pinky finger for 7. That way, instead of stretching, I shifted everything up, and as soon as I shifted everything up, straight away I had more room to play on the other strings, on the other frets. So 1, 3, 5, 7. Now, each of these 2 ways that I have just played are correct. They're not wrong. I played the notes. What I didn't do was this. Because we're only using these 2 fingers, meaning these 2 get neglected. It also meant we were still kind of sticking with that finger a fret position, because remember, that's just a general guideline, but it really helps us lay the foundations and the groundwork to be able to manoeuvre up and down the fretboard. Now the trick is to play it the same way 5 times in a row. I like to play this game because it allows you to build muscle memory. Now the trick here is you have to play it 5 times in a row the same way every time. If you make a mistake, you go back to the start. So I'm going to choose the second way. 1, 3, 5, 7. 7, 5, 3, 1. That's one time. Let's see if I can do it a second. Okay, a third. Oh, made a mistake. I put this finger on instead of sliding this one up. So even though I played the correct note, I didn't do it the same way. So now I have to start again. Okay. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4, last one. That's 5. So I have now done that 5 times in a row, meaning I've built muscle memory in the fact that I've played it the same way every time. Because I've watched people far too many times do, and then the next time, and when you do it like that, you're not building muscle memory because your fingers are confused, because every time you play it, you scramble to the next note because your fingers don't have it lodged in their memory. We're going to do this with 2, 3, 7 and 8 this time. So slightly different. Now, I'll show you first. 2, 3, 7. Oh, that's 5. 2, 3, 7, 8. So this one's quite a big jump as well. Now we have 2 and 3 next to each other, and we've got 7 and 8 next to each other. So again, I'm going to try this 2 ways and decide which way I prefer the best. This is the first way. 2, 3 on my pointy and middle, and then 7 and 8 on my pinky and ring and pinky. That could work. Or I could do the finger of fret shift. 2, 3, 7, 8. 2, 3, 7, 8. 2, 3, 7, 8. Now, depending on what I'm playing, I probably would use my peace signs, my pointy finger and my middle finger. But for the sake of this exercise, because we're focusing on building strength, I'm actually going to play 2, 3 and then 7, 8 with my ring and pinky. And again, it's all about consistency, doing it 5 times in a row. So I'm going to start now. 2, 3, 7, 8. 2, 3, 7, 8. 2, 3, 7, 8. 2, 3, 7, 8. 2, 3, 7, 8. So as you'll see, wide fret exercises and wide fret tabs and riffs are a little bit trickier because there's more possibilities, which I know for some people might make things harder because they like to be told what to do, and for others it might mean that they'll jump into bad habits a little bit easier. But this is when I really want you to start to think. When things are close fret, at least it's straightforward, you know where everything is. But as soon as you start moving up and down that fretboard, it does give you more choice and possibilities. So the most important thing is consistency. Doing it the same way every time and being aware of how you are actually playing it. And I know that can be tricky, but stick with it and see if you can do it 5 times in a row, because it's a little game that I like to play, and it really does help build that muscle memory, because realistically you're going to make some mistakes. You might get slightly frustrated, especially when you can do it 4 times and on that 5th time you mess it up, so you need to start again. But it really, really does help drill the muscle memory, it builds strength, etc. as well. So I hope you found that useful. There are those exercises on the ebook, or if you're a Buy Me a Coffee member, you'll get that as part of everything that you get as part of the membership. And the next video is going to be just a little bit on some tips on how you can really build this into your practice, as well as some tips on how to bring it into the songs that you love as well. So I hope you stay tuned for the next part. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, tell me what it is you like about it, and I will see you the next time.